Are you thinking of trying out gouache?
I now I now have 8 gouache portraits under my belt. I am normally an oil/acrylic painter, but I was hoping that gouache would be a good practice medium for portraits because it's quick to set up and quick to clean up. And the rumors are true, but we don't get free lunches in art. So here are my thoughts. The first thing I want to talk about is the paint's behavior. And a common thing you'll see online is that gouache changes color, but it's not just like a normal change in color. It's bi-directional color change. The lights get darker and the darks get lighter. And I found this to be I get confused as to what's considered dark. It's where do the lights light? Because it's all contextual. It has been a learning curve for sure. Basically what I found is that I just need to layer and build slowly, much like watercolor. And this kind of transitions into the second part, layering. Layering itself got kind of tricky for me because you have to get the perfect texture. If your layer on top is too thin, it'll just wash over, and then before it dries, you kind of have no idea what that is gonna look like. There's a lot of trusting the process in gouache, I think. Also, I've been using tube gouache that I had laying around from that time I thought I was gonna join Riffle Paper Co. I do let them dry out fully between sessions, getting them back to the same consistency that will be thick enough to layer on top of my already laid down paint has been a bit tricky for me. This especially applies for white. I find to get a good white highlight, you really have to get that thick paint like out of the tube type thickness. And all of this makes it harder to start over. Oh, I can't just simply paint over it. I have to paint over that with the right opacity paints and try really hard not to reactivate any of the underlayers. Which brings me to the third topic of the base sketch. The base sketch is so much more important in gouache than it has been with oil or acrylics. You can fairly easily paint over acrylic, paint over oils, and just start over, whereas gouache, you're in constant consciousness of the underlayers and whether or not you want to reactivate them. So will I be replacing my oils with gouache? It seems like a dumb question now because I'm like, gouache is a completely different medium and also behaves more like a watercolor. And I'm neutral to negative on watercolors, so that's probably out of the question for me. But I will still be using them, I feel like, fairly consistently because their setup and cleanup is just so simple. Anyways, those are my 2 cents. Okay, thanks, bye.